The wait is over. 3 years after Finney Blake survived the grabber, it turns out true evil doesn't stay dead. Black Phone 2 is finally here, and it expands the chilling supernatural world of the first film in ways no one saw coming. If you've just walked out of the theater trying to process that insane final battle on the frozen lake, you're in the right place. The story of Finney and Gwen Blake is far from finished, and that ending is a brutal, emotional gut punch that changes everything. So let's break down exactly how they resolve that nightmare ending, what it means for the characters, and whether the phone has finally been silenced for good. The film kicks off in October 1982, 4 years after the first movie's events, and it dives right into the psychological debris of trauma. Finney, who's now 17, is a shadow of his former self. He's hardened, angry, and trying to numb his PTSD by smoking weed and getting into fights at school. He can't escape the phantom ringing of payphones that seem to follow him everywhere. In an interview, actor Mason Thames said that Finney is desperately trying to find the piece that the grabber stole from him. Gwen, now a 15-year-old high schooler, is carrying her own weight. Her psychic gift has become a curse, evolving from simple dreams into terrifying Super 8-style nightmares. She sees visions of murdered children trapped beneath a frozen lake, haunted by cryptic clues that she can't yet understand. She's become a loner at school, bullied for the very ability that saved her brother. Madeline McGraw, who plays Gwen, mentioned that exploring Gwen's traumatized mental state was a huge challenge. Through it all, the unbreakable bond between Finney and Gwen is the one thing holding them together. Their shared trauma has made them fiercely loyal, and it's this connection that the film pushes to its absolute limit. The real horror begins when the supernatural starts actively bleeding into their lives. Finney starts hearing the black phone again, but this time it's not just the helpful voices of the dead. A new voice has joined them, the cruel, taunting voice of the grabber, calling from beyond the grave to promise revenge. Meanwhile, Gwen's horrifying dreams point her to a single location, Alpine Lake Camp, a rundown Christian youth camp deep in the Rocky Mountains. She drags a reluctant Finney and their friend Ernesto, the brother of the late Robin Arellano, out there during a brutal winter storm, convinced the answers are waiting for them. Once they arrive, they're stranded by the blizzard and meet the camp's unsettling supervisor, Armando, played by the brilliant Demian Bashir. This is where the story's mythology deepens. Gwen uncovers that their own mother, Hope, worked at that same camp back in 1957, the same year a string of unsolved child murders happened there. In a mind-bending twist, she learns her mother had the same psychic gift and even received a cryptic phone call in 1957 that connected her across time to Gwen in the present. And then there's the grabber. Director Scott Derrickson and C. Robert Cargyle went all in, turning him from a human monster into a full-blown supernatural entity. He's a vengeful spirit, a dream demon cut from the same cloth as Freddy Krueger, who now haunts the dream world. Ethan Hawke is terrifying as this burned, frostbitten version of the grabber who uses the camp's dead payphone to torment Finney. He blames Finney for his death and for forcing him to kill his own brother Max. His goal isn't just murder anymore, it's eternal torment, and he plans to achieve it by attacking Gwen in her dreams, making the injuries she sustains there appear as real wounds. Everything comes to a head in a terrifying finale on the frozen surface of Lake Maru. The siblings, with help from Ernesto and Armando, figure out that the bodies of the grabber's 1957 victims are buried under the ice. They realize finding them is the only way to cut off the spirit's power. The final confrontation is a stunning mix of nightmare logic and real-world danger, as the grabber attacks them in both the dream realm and on the ice at the same time. The climax isn't about a single hero. It's about the combined strength of the Blake siblings. Finney, who spent the whole film running from the voices, finally leans into his power. He actively communicates with the spirits of the murdered boys, who guide him to the exact spots on the ice where their bodies are hidden. He's no longer just taking their calls, he's fighting alongside them. At the same time, Gwen takes the fight directly to the grabber. She pulls herself into the dream world and confronts him in a twisted version of the basement from the first film. This time, she isn't helpless. Fueled by her mother's legacy and her own resilience, she fights back, using her power to bend the dream to her will. In a shocking dream confession, the grabber reveals he murdered her mother and staged it to look like a suicide. This truth turns Gwen's fear into righteous fury. The resolution is incredibly powerful. As Finney and the others on the surface break through the ice and recover the victim's remains, the grabber's power in the dream world shatters. His connection to the world of the living, built on forgotten crimes, is destroyed by the truth. In the final moments of the fight, Finney, Gwen, and the spirits of all the murdered children unite. The grabber is brutally torn apart by the combined force of his victims before being dragged down into the icy water by the very children he killed. The film's final scene is quiet. Finney and Gwen are home, staring at the black phone. For the first time, it's completely silent. They faced the ghost of their past together and finally found some peace. So what is Black Phone 2 really about? Yes, it's a terrifying horror movie, but underneath, it's a story about healing from trauma. The grabber's return isn't just a sequel gimmick. He is the literal embodiment of Finney and Gwen's unresolved pain. Defeating him isn't just about busting a ghost. It's about the siblings taking their lives back from the fear that has haunted them. The film also beautifully recontextualizes Gwen's powers. What she saw as a curse, she now understands is a legacy, a strength inherited from her mother, Hope. It connects her to her family's past and gives her the power to control her future. This generational story adds a rich emotional depth, showing that the Blake's sensitivity isn't just a product of their trauma, but a part of who they are. Ultimately, like the first film, the core theme of Black Phone 2 is the power of connection. The grabber, in life and death, thrives on isolating his victims. Finney survived the first time by connecting with the dead. This time, the victory comes from the unbreakable bond between a brother and a sister. Their shared strength is the ultimate weapon against an evil that preys on the lonely. As director Scott Derrickson puts it, it's a horror story told from the point of view of love. Black Phone 2 is a sequel that's darker, bigger, and even more emotional than the original. It expands the lore in fantastic ways while focusing on the incredible character work that made us root for Finney and Gwen in the first place. The ending gives the siblings a hard-earned peace, but it also opens up a world that feels like it has more stories to tell. What do you think is next for the Blakes? Is the grabber really gone for good? Or can evil like that ever truly be silenced? Let me know your theories in the comments below. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more looks into your favorite horror films. Thanks for watching.